Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Rewind. This is a show where we talk about the films that are celebrating their 10th, 20th, and 30th anniversary. Why those years? Because those are the years that I was alive, and that's what I want to talk about. If there's a film celebrating an old anniversary that really stands out, we will talk about those today. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about movies that are celebrating their 10th anniversary this month of June 2022. Alright, first off, we're talking about, got it pulled up online here. Snow White and the Huntsman is the first film that comes up here. There's been a couple of Snow White. This one is the one that has Charlize Theron, Kristen Stewart, Chris Hemsworth. I slightly remember this movie, not too much. So, Piranha 3DD. I do remember that movie. I do remember it being dumb. Prometheus. Another movie that I thought was pretty dumb. I didn't like that movie. Safety Not Guaranteed. I do remember that movie. I don't remember much about it. It's one of the few Colin Trevorrow films that I like. Rock of Ages, remember that one? That's My Boy, remember that one. But so far, not a lot really stand out. Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Brave, alright. Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. I've seen most of these. The Invisible War. Medea's Witness Protection. Magic Mike. That was very popular amongst a lot of people. People Like Us. Ted. Remember Ted? Burning Hot Summer. Last Ride. Take the Waltz, and Unforgivable. So those are the films that are celebrating 10 years. But what stands out to me? Alright. So, 3 stand out to me. So, Brave, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, and Ted. Not all great films, but they do stand out to me. Alright, so Brave. Brave was a good movie. I do have kids, and at that time, I had kids at really young ages, so we saw a lot of kids' movies at that time. Anything that came out. Brave was popular among them, and it was a good movie to watch. A really good story between love and the clashing of mother and daughter, and really throwing the princess needs saving, the damsel in distress throws it out the window, and the princess is the hero in this movie. A good message for people. It's a good film. I mean, it's Pixar. Pixar almost never goes wrong. So let's look at the scores for this movie. All right. So for Brave, Rotten Tomatoes critic score 78%, certified fresh. Audience score 75%, so almost dead even. You don't see that a lot with the scores. Sometimes they're way all over the place, but audience and critics almost all agree it's a good movie, and I will agree with them. Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Alright, so this does not stand out to me because I liked the film. I hated it actually, but I was really excited for this. I like alternative history movies that take a thing in history, they change it up a lot, and then make their own thing. And I love vampire movies. So this had me written all over it, and I was pumped for this film. I couldn't wait for it, and I was really let down. It's a pretty bad movie. It's a pretty stupid movie. It is not good. Do not recommend it. Alright, what is the tomato score? 34% rotten. And audience score is 50%. A little higher than I would have given it. So, somewhat difference there, but for the most part, I think everybody does not really like this movie. They either hate it or they just like, eh. And I would say I hate this movie. Now, let's rewind another 10 years to June of 2002 to movies celebrating their 20th anniversary. So, let's start this list. Bad Company. I remember seeing that movie, but I cannot remember if I liked it or not. Divine Secrets of the Ya-Ya Sisterhood. I can tell you I never watched this movie. I know this was a very popular movie, but it was not marketed to guys like me. So, I have never watched this movie, but I know it was very popular at the time. The Bourne Identity. I did see this movie several times. Scooby-Doo live action. Air Bud 7th Inning Fetch. I have not seen that movie. Lilo and Stitch. I can say that I have not seen Lilo and Stitch. I was in high school at the time, so didn't see a lot of animated movies. Minority Report. Good sci-fi movie celebrating 20 years. Wow. Get a Clue. Lindsay Lohan. Don't remember that movie. Hey Arnold the Movie. I liked the show as a kid, but I don't think I watched the movie. I don't think the nostalgic enough was at the time to watch that movie in high school. Lovely and Amazing. I haven't heard of that one. Mr. Deeds. I do remember Mr. Deeds. I like Mr. Deeds. Alright, so that was our movie celebrating the 20th anniversary. So what stands out to me? The one that stands out the most is the Bourne Identity. The first of the Bourne franchise. This is a classic movie. Classic spy movie. I mean, you have one of the best spy movies that I can remember. Now, before I get a bunch of hate, I said one of the best. One of the best. There's lots of great spy movies out there, but this is just one of them that are great. This was the first of the Bourne franchise, and probably the best. You know, like most film franchises, they go down as they go. You never quite catch the magic of the first one. I like the Bourne movies. To me, they still hold up today. Just recently, Universal Studios down here in Orlando opened up the Bourne. It's not really a ride. It's not like a show. It's a really good show. If you ever visit Universal Studios in Orlando, catch out the Bourne Spectacular. It's pretty fun. Audience, let's look at the scores. All right, critics gave the Bourne Identity 84%, certified fresh. An audience score of 93%. So those are pretty high scores, really high scores. To show you the greatness of the Bourne franchise and the Bourne Identity. Right, let's rewind 10 more years to June of 1992. The movie celebrating 30. Alright, June 1992. Stepfather 3. I cannot say I remember this movie. Again, like I said last time, I was 7. So a lot of these I probably do not remember or haven't seen. Class Act. I remember seeing those posters when I was a kid at the movie rental house. I did not have a Blockbuster by me. We had a movie palace. So when I say movie palace, that's what I mean. So at the movie palace, I saw that poster, but I did not see that movie. Patriot Games. I've seen that movie. I did not watch it then, but I have seen that movie. House Sitter. Waxwork 2. Lost in Time. Batman Returns. The Hairdresser's Husband. A Private Matter. So what stands out to me? I mean, obviously, it's gonna be Batman. I told you in the last video. It was Spider-Man and then Batman. Batman is my all-time favorite superhero, all time. I love the Batman. I liked the cartoon when I was a kid, and I did like the movies. Now, these older movies, the 90s, I remember liking the Keaton ones. I remember even as a kid not liking the one with Val Kilmer and the one with George Clooney. Even as a kid, I didn't really like those. They're kind of corny. But I did like Batman and Batman Returns. I was 7 years old when this came out, so prime age for a Batman movie. However, this is a little dark for a little kid. This is a Tim Burton movie, so it's a little dark. I remember even as a kid, Danny DeVito's Penguin is pretty freaking creepy. I mean, Keaton is great. He's many people's favorite Batman. And again, like nostalgia is super hot right now. Everybody likes nostalgia, and Keaton is coming back for the Flash movie. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I'm assuming it's going to be a different universe kind of thing. But Keaton's coming back for the Flash. Personally, Keaton would not be my favorite, but he is a great Batman. And let's see what the critics say. Rotten Tomatoes, 80%. Certified fresh, Audience score 73%. So, still a good movie. To me, it holds up. I mean, a lot of it doesn't hold up as far as graphics and special effects, but the movie itself is still a good Batman movie. However, we're not done today. I did do some previous research before I started this show today, and there is a movie that we need to talk about that's celebrating 40 years, the 40th anniversary, and that movie is E.T. the Extraterrestrial. E.T. And this movie is a classic. It's Spielberg. It is a staple of film. It is just one of those movies that will stand the test of time. E.T. Now, this movie came out before I was born, so obviously I did not watch it in 1984. I did see it later, but even as a kid, the movie's fantastic. This ride is still open in Universal Studios. I believe it's maybe the oldest ride in the entire park, and it does show, but it's a classic. It's E.T. I mean, if you watch E.T. now, obviously, I've shown it to my kids, and they weren't very impressed because the graphics don't hold up as today's standard, obviously, but this is a classic film, and I think it'll always be a classic. Well, that's it for today's episode of Rewind. I hope you do not feel old. These are great movies. Go back and watch them if you want to. Have fun with it, and as always, be kind